First, what a great crowd. And I'm so proud of West Texas. I'm so proud of how much West Texas supports women's basketball, but also Texas Tech. I mean, for all of those kids to be here, I just want to thank all those school districts for sending their kids and their teachers. And I want to thank the teachers for keeping those kids in check, bless their hearts. But man, they were fantastic. And as Chuck said on the radio, we were going to credit the crowd and those kids to the free throw line defense that we put on Sam Houston, because they made a huge difference every time they went to the free throw line to get some free throws up, really, really loud. But I just want to thank them so much, and what a fun day for our program, and lots of records that were set and broken and whatnot. And I'm really proud of Big Jazz for coming in and getting a career high. We're seeing what she can do for us in really an efficient amount of time. To be able to get to 17 and 7 in 12 minutes is pretty good. So imagine when she's going to stay on the floor longer, what that's going to look like. And then for Bree to get a double-double is fantastic. We've been challenging all of our kids so for somebody to get double-digit rebounds, and for it to be Bree, I think is fantastic. And, especially because she came out a little gun shy, and I'm not real sure why, because she's never not shot happy. And so, but I thought she just played within herself, continued to push forward, and kept rebounding the basketball, which was fantastic. But Sam Houston is a good basketball team. Raven does a great job with them. They're very athletic. They've got a lot of different weapons and a lot of versatility. Obviously, they're big on the inside and can be really athletic and quick on the perimeter. I thought our kids were a little bit hesitant early with just trying to attack their pressure. But I thought that we got in a pretty good groove in the second quarter and extended our lead a little bit. I thought our defense for most of the night was really spot on, and we did a pretty good job. It's just those offensive rebounds, and we'll continue to work on that. But Sam Houston is 4th in the country in rebounds for a reason, and I think that they showed that tonight. So I'm just proud of the kids for ending this little run right here on a win, going into the break. And I say the break, that they don't really get a break because they're on finals, but going into finals 8-1, I think is a really great thing for these girls and for our program. And I want them to just enjoy it for a day or two and study for their finals and get their academics taken care of before we get back to work.
Is it hard to stay motivated in a crowd that's quiet like that?
Not at all, right? We certainly want those kids. We want those kids to go home and tell their parents how much fun they had, and then bring their parents back to the next game.
Jazz, Coach said at the beginning of the year that a big part of getting you to come to Texas Tech was promises of nights like this, 17 points for you, another big game. Are you seeing those extra opportunities obviously come into fruition now, and what does it feel like?
Yes, I am seeing those opportunities, and it feels great because I didn't get to do this as much as at my last school, and now I can do it for a coach in the school that I love.
And then Bree, first career double-double for you tonight. What was going through your head when you pulled down that 10th rebound? I saw you run over to the sideline.
I was like, yes, finally. I've been really close, and so Coach, like she said, she's been challenging us, so it just felt good. We all celebrated because it was like, yes, somebody finally got it. But no, it just felt good to, get that double-double.
Obviously, you know how to get points too, but against a team like Coach Gerlich just said that rebounds the ball very well. How challenging was it to get those 10 rebounds?
Oh, it was hard. We had to box out every play. We gave up some offensive rebounds. So like Coach said, we have to continue to get better at that. But every play we had to box out, whether it was on defensive or offensive end, they were crashing really hard. And so we just had to make it a focus for us to box out every play.
Jazz, for you, I saw not only the 17 points, but you were setting up your teammates for success. There was a couple times where they were slashing and you were able to throw it right into them. The unselfish play from you guys, do you think that's part of the it factor for you guys this season so far?
It is. We are a very unselfish team that helps sometimes, and sometimes it's kind of our downfall a little bit. But it does help a lot, and I love, sharing the ball. I'm not, a person that's me. Get the ball to others and help them score.
And Bree, for you, you guys you had 10 points in a transition. You guys really, that's one thing you guys were trying, 10 buckets, I think, down in there. But anyway, you guys are really working on that transition offense and defense. Do you think that was a strong suit for you guys today?
Yeah, so they crashed the boards really hard on the offense and defensive end, so that allowed us to get people out and run the floor because they have 5 people crashing at all times, so they wouldn't have a safety, so that just allowed us to get out and run and get some easy baskets in transition.
Jazz, I saw a bunch of the kids run over to you towards the end.
Yes.
I mean, with you coming to this program too, I mean, Coach Gerlich says, Lady Raider Nation, they will support you no matter what.
Yeah.
Did you kind of feel that today when those
did.
kids came over?
I did feel that today. I was kind of mad they kept calling me Miss, but I did feel it a lot. Gave a lot of hugs, a lot of love. Yeah.
Do you think it's the Lady Raider jersey or the blue hair? Let's be real. Which one do you think it is?
I love your hair. I love your hair.
Ladies, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you guys. Okay.
All right. Casey, you want to start us off with Coach Gurley?
Coach, someone who may have not had the biggest numbers tonight, but obviously adds an impact to the game, Katie Farrell making her return. What was it
Yeah.
like having her finally come back?
It was great to see her. She's been so excited about being able to play again. And I know she was being a little bit hesitant at times, and rightfully so, because she plays hard no matter what. She only knows one speed. And I know she dove on the floor at one point, and I think everybody kind of gasped a little bit. But it was great to have her out there. The very first time she touched the ball, I believe she had an assist, and that's what she does for us. So she's going to get better and better and more confident. It's really good that she's going to have some practices with us over the next week or so, because she really hasn't practiced very much with us at all. She's just done a lot of non-contact stuff.
And then obviously those two had big games tonight scoring-wise, but two other players with double-digit figures. Is it good to see this time of the year those numbers starting to come up a little bit more consistently from a bunch of different players?
Yeah, for sure. It certainly helps. I mean, we've said that the whole time that the balance and versatility of this team is what's going to be our strength, and the fact that that people are producing those numbers on a consistent basis is a really good thing for us, because it's just going to be difficult for us to. For people to scout us. I think it's going to be hard for people to defend Big Jazz and Ella if they're going to have to put two people on them. And if they do, we've got shooters all around them. So I really like the way that our kids are playing. I thought today was a little bit of a dogfight, which I expected from Sam Houston, but it was tough for us to get in any type of rhythm offensively. But I thought that we made the plays when we needed to.
Coach, in the beginning of the game and also throughout the game, Sam Houston was really aggressive from beyond the arc. The way that they play and how aggressive they are with the three-point ball, does that in a way help you guys with defending the three-point ball when you start going into Big 12 play?
Oh, for sure, yeah. And they actually historically don't shoot it that well. So for them to come out and hit a couple of early ones, kind of, we had to adjust to what we were doing, because we were trying to zone them a little bit with our lack of size in our starting lineup. But when we did go man, I thought we defended them really well and got to the three-point line a little bit better. But we certainly have got to talk about that and how are we going to address, defending the three-point line, because as you all know, the Big 12 has tremendous three-point shooters in it.
Coach, so the win streak's obviously still afloat now. So has the message to the girls just been take it one game at a time? And if so, how are they responding to that message?
Well, I think they're responding really well. And yes, we've been talking a lot about stacking success. And this program hasn't done that in a while, and this team certainly hasn't. And so for us to be stacking win after win right now is really good for us. We keep talking about sustaining success or stacking success is going to expand the possibilities. And if we continue to do that, then we're going to have more possibilities open for us, in front of us, whether that be, preparing us obviously for how tough the Big 12 is and just giving us confidence, or maybe getting in the talks of top 25 at some point. I just want our kids to continue to not get complacent and continue to get better every game, and to know that, you can never get tired of winning, because it's really hard to win.
And obviously, again, with Bree having the double-double, what do games like these mean for her late in her collegiate career?
Yeah, well, we know Bree's very capable, and I'm so happy to see her have some success in the statistical columns, because for this reason. She and Bryn both are playing some different positions for us, and especially when we start that small lineup, and they haven't complained one time about it. And Bree particularly has had to, she hasn't been the high point for us when she's very capable of being that, but because she's having to defend bigger kids in the paint for us, or she's playing the high post, she's not getting all those looks at the basket like Riley and Bailey and Jasmine are. And I just really appreciate her unselfishness and the fact that she wants to win. And that's the bottom line is she wants to win. So she's going to do whatever we ask her to do. And I appreciate that she's actually, I'm not sure she'd have a double-double if she wasn't playing the 4 at times. So that bode well for her today.
Coach, you mentioned Sunday after the game that you wanted to see more consistency, especially in the second half. Were you more pleased with that today, not really, letting Sam Houston get back into it?
Yeah, I didn't think they ever had any strong runs against us, where we felt like that the lead was in jeopardy. However, I did think that in the third quarter we did let them hang around a little bit instead of expanding our lead. And that's one of the things that when you have a lead going into halftime, the first 3 minutes are so important that you continue to expand and not let a team like Sam Houston back in, because if you give them a little bit of daylight, they can really get going and have a lot of success because of how athletic they are, and they can turn you over. So I was proud of our poise in handling that. And we got 2 5-second calls on the press. And it's funny because I was getting all over our girls because they weren't getting open. I didn't think they were working hard enough. But we really made the right decision in not trying to force it inside, because we talk to our kids all the time about we need a dead ball turnover, not a live ball turnover, so that we can set our defense up. So the fact that I need to go back and talk to them about if you're going to get a 5-second call or a turnover, it needs to be a 5-second call so we can set our defense. So just some little things like that I think that we can get better at. We haven't had very many teams press us this year, so it was good to see what that looked like. And I didn't think that we had any turnovers in the press. I think we just had it at the beginning when we were trying to get the ball inbounds.
And Big Cat, was it a hand that she's coming back from?
Yes, yep. She broke her fourth metatarsal. Is that what you say? Metacarpal, right here, and had screws put in. Had surgery, had screws put in it. So she's back pretty quick, to be quite honest. But she's doing really, really great.
Coach, we talk about the big night in the paint, but this team they tend to shoot a little more threes, and they just put up 9 attempts tonight, and a lot of that was early on in the first quarter. So kind of that early transition to say that, hey, tonight's not going to be a 3-point night. It's going to be down the paint.
Right, absolutely. I think I'm sure that was part of Sam Houston's game plan. Is you can't look at how well we shoot the 3 and say, hey, let's pack it in the paint and let them shoot that 3 ball. So I thought that they did a pretty good job of trying to take the 3 away from us, and that's what I mean about our versatility. I love that our girls recognize that, hey, we can drive it to the paint or enter it to the paint with our post players, and if they do that enough, then Sam Houston has to make another decision if they want to try to double our post players or not let us have 2s. But I imagine they were thinking that they'd rather trade 2s for 2s, not 2s for 3s. And so that's why they were doing more of a really defending us on the 3-point line.
Coach, 3 games in 5.5 days, 5 in 12 days, or whatever it ended up being. How do you take this next week to reevaluate and maybe get some rest, and what does the next week look like before you return for Oral Roberts?
Yeah, we'll take a couple of days off right here to let our kids prepare for finals. We have gone really hard. I think we've gone 7 days straight right here, and we made that decision last week that we thought it would be good for our kids to have to push through and learn how to play on tired legs and do short scouts and things like that. And I thought our kids have handled it really well. There was a time tonight that I thought we got really winded and looked fatigued, maybe not winded, but fatigued, and thought to myself, I was upset at first, was thinking we're not in good enough shape. And then the second came over me and I thought, actually it's probably because we've been playing for 7 days and they've been playing really hard. So I like the fact that we pushed through, that we were able to come away with 3 wins here in the last week. But now it's time for them to take a mental break, to try to focus on their academics a little bit. We'll definitely keep them in the weight room and get some shots up. Work on a few things on Friday, I believe, that'll be all about us, and then we'll come back on Sunday ready to get after Oral Roberts and start game planning for them.
And then lastly, you've played some different styles in the last 2 or 3 weeks. How does that help you for Big 12 play, but then also hopefully for postseason where you've played rebounding teams like Sam Houston, you've played transition teams?
Yeah, I think it's going to help us a lot. I think it looks to, like I said, our versatility, the fact that we can put a big lineup on the floor if we need to and go inside or defend big lineups. I think we can go small and really shoot the lights out and get to the paint. I think we can press when we need to press. And then I just really like the fact that we are versatile, which is when we put this team together, that's what we wanted to do, was to be able to have some different lineups to put on the floor, because in Big 12 we go against that. We go get some really, really good three-point shooting teams, and then we go get some big post-dominating teams as well. So I like that we have kids that can battle in any situation.